Welcome everyone to the Common Council of the City of Beaver Dam, April 21st meeting, and we will start with the roll call.
Anderson,
Here.
Burnett, Marie,
Here.
Flaherty,
Here.
Fisher,
Here.
Hiley, here, Keel, here, Olson,
Present.
Perkins, Wild, here, Yuds, Zop.
Here.
And Tracy, please note that Alder Yuds and Alder Perkins are excused. And now we will have a Pledge of Allegiance followed by a moment of silent deliberation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we will start this evening with an informal public hearing. If there is anyone either in the room with us or online who would like to speak to council, this is your opportunity to come forward. Whether you want to speak over Zoom or in person, now is the time, your opportunity to chat with council members. And one last time, is there anyone who is interested in speaking to council either in person or online? Seeing no one, the informal public hearing is closed and we will move on to announcements. My first announcement is a proclamation. I am proud to declare from the City of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, Office of the Mayor, the following proclamation dealing with Arbor Day. Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, celebrating 153 years, and whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, help manage stormwater, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas the City of Beaver Dam has recognized as a Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation for 34 consecutive years and desires to continue its tree planting practices. Now, therefore, as mayor of the City of Beaver Dam, I do hereby proclaim Friday, April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the City of Beaver Dam, and I urge all citizens to support efforts to care for our trees and woodlands and to support our city's community forestry program. And further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of present and future generations. Citizens are invited to the official Arbor Day ceremony and tree planting to be held at 10:45 a.m. Saturday, April 26th, near Front and Center Street, east of 213 Front Street. This is being held in conjunction with the Beaver Dam Downtown Annual Earth Day Cleanup. So proclaimed this date, the 21st of April, 2025. So, John, maybe you want to come and receive this proclamation? And we can, our head tree planter.
And John, not to put you on the spot, do you want to give any little bit of back
foundation to move forward. So that, again, that's Monday, May 12th at 6:30. Location to be determined. We're figuring that out. Yes.
Does that, you mentioned a meeting next Monday?
It's replacing.
This replaces that one for next? Monday?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, we were hoping to get it on the calendar earlier, but Dr. Ford was not available. So thank you. Yeah. So yeah, so Monday, May 12th. Okay. Another announcement, as some of you may be aware, that we currently have 5 candidates for the District 11 vacant seat. So we anticipate that at our next council meeting, you will be hearing from all 5 candidates and be asked to vote on the one that you think will do the best job to fill Kay's seat. So just to give you a heads up, that'll be on our next agenda. And then finally, kind of segueing from what John talked about, Saturday, April 12th will be our local Earth Day celebration. Downtown Beaver Dam Inc. Has arranged a variety of activities. There will be, on Friday, there's a pop-up graffiti project on the vacant east wall of the Rogers Cinema. And then on Saturday, there's a whole variety of activities focusing on the downtown cleanup and trash pickup. Volunteers are asked to meet behind the American Bank. There will be free cookies, Great Harvest cookies for any volunteers, and also there will be a treasure hunt for volunteers to also be rewarded. The tree planting and ceremony that John referred to, you can pick up free trash bags at McKinstry's. There's electronic recycling event at Habitat for Humanity Restore. So if you have some old computers or other electronics you want to get rid of, there's an upcycling craft project at the Beaver Dam Community Library. There's an exhibit, an art exhibit and a coloring contest and an art project at the Dodge County Center for the Arts. There's a recycled candy wrapper project at Nancy Zeman Sewing Studios, as well as projects at Art on the Town. So there's all kinds of things happening downtown to celebrate Earth Day and to serve our community. So I encourage you to get involved.
Bobby?
Yeah.
You said Saturday, April 12th.
Oh, I'm sorry, Saturday, April 26th. Yep, sorry. Good. Any other announcements? Yeah, Ken.
I did not send an email to anyone asking for any information if anyone received that. I believe it was a phishing email. Sorry, it wasn't me. But if you click on the name, you'll see the email address is some different email address than mine, but coincidence that they're doing the training at the time. So I don't know. Yeah, that is part of certain certifications is to actually send tests like that and to score how many people actually mark it or not. So I don't know if that was a test they were running or not, but I did not send the emails. I would never ask for any information or anything like that. I don't think the email was asking for anything like that. It was just kind of weird, but other than that, that's it.
Good. Any other announcements? Okay. Then the next item on the agenda is the disposition of minutes of the Common Council meeting from April 7th. That was the regular Common Council meeting. Tracy, is it possible? Can we bundle these together and pass both the minutes at once?
We would need a motion in a second to.
Yeah, we might. Okay. So can I get a motion to approve the minutes of our April 7th regular Common Council meeting? Alder Burnett and thank you, and Alder Keel.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions, comments, corrections on the April 7th minutes? All those in favor of approving the minutes as printed in your packet, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Then the next item is the disposition of the minutes of the Common Council meeting. This was our separate inaugural meeting on Tuesday, April 8th. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to dispose of the minutes for April 8th.
Thank you, Alder Wild, and a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Alder Furry. Questions, comments, corrections on those minutes? Then all those in favor of approving the minutes from the April 8th council meeting, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
Okay. Then we move on to presentations and reports. City Administrator, do we have a report?
Just one thing to update the council. As you're probably aware, we've been slowly working through the comprehensive plan. It was scheduled to be brought to the council this evening. Unfortunately, our publication, our newspaper notified us about a week ago that it did not get published correctly, and they failed to publish it in the paper. So we're starting again, bringing it to the Plan Commission, and then we'll bring it to the council. So just in case anybody's keeping tabs and questioning why hasn't this been complete yet? No one is more saddened or disappointed to not have this project completed than I am. So you can meet with me later and we can mourn together. But point is it is scheduled to be in the paper, and we'll move forward. So that's the one announcement that I had.
Okay, good. Communications?
There are none this evening.
Thank you. Then next up is the approval of the bills from April 4th to April 17th in the amount of $921,511.56. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills as presented.
Thank you, Alder Zop, and a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Alder Furry. Any questions or comments about the bills? Okay, then all those in favor of approving the bills as printed in your packets, so signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The bills are paid. Next, we have the library renovation project update.
Well, thank you for having me back, everybody. So quick timeline, just kind of high level, and I'll be coming back again in future with another update. So our fundraising continues. We're currently at 75% of our goal of $1 million raised, on top of the 1.5 million that the library board endowment fund earnings have been designated for the project, as well as we include that 1.2 million for the library roof, which we are very thankful for, especially after the rains lately. Every time it rains. So we do have a special session on Wednesday night. You had that agenda sent to you along with the library board, where we will be determining the budget and scope of the project. This project has been quite some time in the making. It started in 2019, I think, the discussions. And so our price estimate originally was issued in 2023. We're now in 2025. And so we've been doing a little value engineering to fill that gap, which basically I learned means assessing for function and quality, but also bringing that in line with the budget. So what we need and what we want have to equal what we have available. So that is going very well, but that was a lengthy discussion at our meeting last Friday. And so that's why we have a special session this Wednesday. There is a temporary relocation of the library being planned. This will accomplish both a shorter duration and therefore less expense. So we are working with the owner of a building on the certificate of occupancy, and with John Moosereiner, the building inspector, and fire inspection as well. We anticipate that there will be a 3-week closure for the move. To just kind of put that in perspective, when you're thinking about the library, we will have 9 truckloads, semi-truckloads of materials, as well as another 11 of furnishings, shelving to hold those materials and other items. So we have over 125,000 items in the library at this time. So this is a really significant project. And so we'll need that time to pack up, move out, and then settle in. The time for that is to be determined based on occupancy, public bidding of the project, the construction start date, as well as consideration of least impact to the library in terms of our visitors and usage, which can be cyclical. Summer is coming. Also the impact to the users of the library and then to the general public who visit and use the library too. So we anticipate construction beginning in 2025, and we'll have further information regarding occupancy in the next couple coming weeks. So, and then at that time, I can certainly bring back an update. So any questions? Yes.
Can you tell us where you're going?
I believe so. So we are currently involved in negotiations for 1701 North Spring Street, which some people know as the old Kmart building. You might know it as the Bassett Furniture Building or the vacant place next to the Noble Clinic. So we are excited because it's a 1-level space with public restrooms that will be accessible. The owner is bringing that up to code now. And it's still on that Spring Street corridor and near where different families are. And some of our librarians have actually expressed some excitement about reaching some new users based on location. Even just a mile up the road can change who's able to get to the library or learn about what we have to offer.
Alder Furry?
I got lots of questions. I'm kidding. I just wanted to tell Sarah, thank you for your efforts and work to get this project to kind of stay on track and where it is. The library board's been enjoyable and doing good work, and it's because of what you're doing. So thank you.
And I would like to repeat those sentiments. I had the opportunity to be at the library board meeting last Friday, and it's mind-boggling what Sarah and the board is dealing with because there are so many moving parts. And as soon as you change one, then they all change. And so they're all in, between inflation and changes at the state and federal level and contracts. And do we have to bid that? Well, we didn't think we did, but now we have to bid it. And yeah, there's been so many things, and it's extremely impressive how the board and Sarah have handled this massive undertaking. So I think it'll be so exciting when it's done, but for now, I'm so glad they're dealing with it and not us. So, but thank you, Sarah. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. It will be fantastic when it's done. And I hope that when we announce our grand opening at the temporary location, some of you will join us. And then again, when we get back to the newly renovated library. So thank you.
Good. Thank you. Okay, we move on to ordinances. And our first ordinance is number 4.
Ordinance number 4-2025, an ordinance amending section 62-8 and creating section 62-15 of the City of Beaver Dam Municipal Code to allow golf carts on specified streets. This is a first reading.
And I believe, Todd, are you gonna give us a little presentation?
Yep. So we'll do a brief presentation on ordinance 4-2025. Just go over some of the background information. A lot of this ops knows about, but obviously admin wasn't privy to. So we'll go over what started it, some of the staff follow-ups, and then what we talked about with operations. And then as far as next steps. So believe it or not, this started back in November, where staff received a citizen complaint about Wayland Academy using golf carts on public sidewalks. And more or less the concern was they weren't yielding right away to pedestrians. The complaint came into Nathan and he followed up first by email notifying of him of the complaint. Kind of explaining what city ordinance is now and being that golf carts aren't allowed in public right away. Whereas low speed vehicles are, but they have different requirements. And at that point, they were directed not to use golf carts in the right of way. Subsequently, Nathan had a phone conversation with Wayland. They talked about, there's a huge history of Wayland using their golf carts around their campus, traveling between their grounds on the north side of Park Ave to the south side. And then they also own some houses on Franklin Street where they'll travel between campus and those houses. They also noted there were no serious issues that they were aware of to date. So at that point, the issue was forwarded on to Operations Committee for further discussion. Just as to kind of help explain, where they're traveling to and from. Obviously, this is the north part of their campus. They'll come out the driveway here on the Park Ave, travel down the sidewalk and go across to their gym and whatnot. They also come out the east driveway, and then all these properties highlighted in yellow are owned by Wayland. And they'll do various maintenance tasks on those houses. So fast forward to January, this first came to Operations Committee. We had legal in attendance, and they advised, any change that would allow golf carts in right of way would need an ordinance amendment. Wayland was in attendance at that meeting. They were encouraged to upgrade to low speed vehicles rather than using golf carts if they wanted to use something in the right of way, because that's already allowed by ordinance. They noted, a financial hardship if they had to change golf carts to LSVs. And it was quite the lengthy discussion, so it was tabled at that point. We reconvened back in February. So between January and the February meeting, staff got together. It was me, Nathan, and Chief Kreitzinger to come up with some recommendations for committee on how to proceed. So at that point, we were recommending to establish a golf cart crossing at Park Avenue, just on the east side of University Avenue, just at that crosswalk. And then the other recommendation was to allow golf carts on just the street portion of Franklin Street. At that point, committee gave us consensus to proceed with drafting those ordinances. Circle back to last week, or April 7th. We brought forward the draft ordinance. Between the April and February meeting, Chief Kreitzinger, I believe it was yourself, observed Wayland that they have a UTV that they own and operate that we were not aware of. So at that point, staff was no longer recommending allowing golf carts on Franklin Street. We felt that they could use their UTV that they already had. But we did go ahead with establishing the golf cart crossing of Park Ave on the east side of University. So based upon that recommendation, committee did approve the ordinance as presented. And it is here now. So again, today we have the first reading, the presentation I just went through, and then it'll be back on May 5th for the second reading, the public hearing, and council adoption.
So good. Any questions for Todd? Okay, thank you. Next up, we have our resolutions. The first resolution.
Resolution number 29-2025, a resolution awarding the contract to provide inspection of the upflow anaerobic sludge blanket and UASB feed tanks.
And as much as I'd love to talk on that topic, I think maybe Jeremy would like to. I'll defer to him. Anaerobic sludge blanket. That's a term, isn't it?
So I guess brief history, and then we'll talk about the resolution. So Kraft Heinz has a pre-treatment system located on wastewater grounds. It's dedicated entirely to Craft. Their wastewater has to be treated prior to releasing to our wastewater plant, otherwise it would wipe out the organisms and kill the plant. So back in 2009 to 2011, they designed this pre-treatment system, cooperative partnership between the city and Craft. There's a large amount of grant funding involved in that. But now we're fast forward 15 years with it being in service, and there was no agreement as to future planning or capital improvement, those kind of needs. And so in order to begin discussions with Craft on how we move forward with any upgrades that are needed, we need to perform some inspections of the existing equipment. So Craft Heinz currently has a plant shut down this week. So some of the other components that we can take down, drain some tanks, clean some tanks, and have some inspectors come in, some more of the minor processes we're doing this week. And then beginning in May, we'll be able to bypass this section that we're discussing tonight, the UASB. And then would drain that tank down, or those two tanks down, clean those, and then have an inspector come in. So this would involve a specialized inspector, the designing inspector. They would be flying someone in from the Netherlands and also on the East Coast. So it's fairly involved, but that's kind of what well, that is what this resolution would be, to approve that inspector to come in and perform that inspection. Right now, we're targeting the third week in May.
Okay, any questions for Jeremy? And I believe this passed operations this evening, correct? Okay,
Yep, last week or
last week, okay, or last meeting. Okay, good. Any other questions? Then I thank you, Jeremy. I think we're ready to vote.
You need a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, right. Can I get a motion?
Awesome.
Thank you, Alder Bennett. And a second? Alder Wild, thank you.
Motion.
Now we're ready to vote.
Anderson,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Hiley. Aye. Keel.
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Zop.
Aye.
Okay, the resolution passes.
Resolution number 30-2025, a resolution awarding the contract to provide professional services for the CIPP lining of sanitary sewer interceptor.
Take it away, Jeremy.
Thank you. And so we requested quotes for these professional services. So this would be lining of approximately a little over 3 miles of sanitary main, sanitary interceptor. So much larger diameter pipe that runs from the north side of the city all the way to the south side of the city. So this engineering firm, MSA, we're recommending, would be responsible for all the project management, including the inspection, the bidding processes, the project closeout. So a little bit more than what our staff could handle. We do smaller lining projects where we handle the project management, but this would be a multi-year, much more involved project.
Good. Any questions? Okay, then can I get a motion? Alder Bennett,
Yeah, so move.
a second.
Seconded.
Thank you, Alder Flaherty. So, Alder Anderson?
I have questions. No, we have that. Am I looking at the right one? Is this the one that has Crunkle and MSA?
Correct.
And Crunkle is cheaper, but they're not.
They did not provide 3 references that were required and as part of the bid, so they were not considered responsive.
Okay.
Good. Any other questions or discussion or comments? Okay, then I think we're ready to call the roll.
Burnett,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Kylie. Aye. Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Zop,
Aye.
Anderson.
Hi.
The resolution passes. Next item.
Resolution number 31-2025, a preliminary resolution declaring intent to exercise special assessment powers under section 66.0703 paren 4 Wisconsin statutes.
And Todd, you want to speak to that?
Sure. So in your packets, you have the preliminary report on estimated special assessments for the 2025 Beaver Street and Front Street reconstruction project. Per city policy, property owners are being assessed for non-compliant private water service replacement and private sanitary lateral replacement. Since the project's funded by CDBG funds, we can't assess for any improvements in the right of way, which are typically our non-compliant sidewalks, driveway aprons, and engineering. So basically the resolution starts the assessment project. It first went through ops 2 weeks ago. It's here tonight. If it's passed tonight, we'll have a public hearing at the next operations committee meeting.
Good. Any questions for Todd? Alder Zop?
Todd, I was looking through operations. I think you guys were discussing like the lead service line funding and whatnot. Were any of these homeowners, are they gonna benefit from any dollars to fund lead service line replacement?
We have no funding.
We have
here.
We have no funding. Okay. Well, all right, thank you. I was encouraged to see that you are discussing options to help out homeowners. It's unfortunate we don't have anything now, but thank you.
Good. Any other questions or comments? Okay, then I need a motion. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. And Alder Wild. Thank you. And we're ready to call the roll.
Burnett,
Aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Kylie. Aye. Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Zop,
Aye.
Anderson,
Hi.
Burnett.
And the resolution passes. Next item.
Resolution number 32-2025, a resolution authorizing construction of new bicycle facilities as part of the 2025 Madison Street reconstruction project.
And Todd, one more time.
So in 2025, we'll be reconstructing Madison Street from Curry Street to Chatham Street. That project's funded in part by the WISDOT LRIP program. So per statute, we have to give consideration to establishing bikeways and pedestrian ways. It's currently proposed to add bike lanes to that project corridor. So that being the case, we're required to approve a resolution authorizing the addition of those bike lanes so that we can submit it with our reimbursement for that grant.
Okay, any questions? Alder Zop?
Did you have to increase the roadway width to fit bike lanes, or did everything fit in the existing right of way?
I think we widened it a couple feet on each side.
And then, so that's coming out of the homeowner's side, or was that like the existing grass?
The existing grass,
The existing
it's all in right away.
Oh, it's all in right. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So the roadway footprint increased, but in existing right of way. So
Right.
it didn't take.
No,
Okay,
No.
cool. That was my only question. Thank you.
Good. Any other questions for Todd? Okay, then I need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Alder Zop. And second, Alder Burnett. Any other discussion? Okay, then we're ready to call the roll.
Marie,
aye.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Kylie. Aye. Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Zop,
Aye.
Anderson,
Hi.
Burnett,
Aye.
Burnett.
Aye.
And the resolution passes. And finally, the last resolution of the evening.
Resolution number 33-2025, a resolution for outdoor recreation grant applications.
And is Todd, is this your last
Yeah,
chance here?
yeah. So we'll be resubmitting a stewardship grant for Swan Park Phase 3. That project includes the outer loop walking trail, updates to the band shell and the seating area. As part of the application process, we need to adopt a resolution that allows me to apply for the grant and administer the grant on behalf of the city.
Okay, any questions for Todd? Okay, then I need a motion. Alder Hiley,
I'll make a motion to accept the outdoor recreation grant on behalf of the city.
very good. And a second? Alder Keel? Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Any opinions?
Yeah,
Alder
I
Bonnet?
forgot this. I'm gonna direct it to Todd. What was the amount of it?
I believe last year we applied for 900,000. So it'll be similar to what we applied for last year.
Thank you.
Good. Any other questions or comments? Okay, then we're ready to call the roll.
Flaherty,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Hiley,
Aye.
Keel,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Wild,
Aye.
Zop,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Bonnet,
Aye.
Burnett,
Aye.
Bree.
Aye.
And the resolution passes. Finally, we need an approval of Alder Nancy Wilds agreeing to be the council's representative to the Senior Advisory Committee. Any questions or for either Alder Wild or myself? Jack has been our representative for quite a few years now, and he switched to a different committee and asked to have someone else replace him on this committee, so. Okay, then
Is
Um,
Nancy old enough to be on that?
well, I don't think you have to be a senior to be on the committee, actually. It's just advisory. So all those in favor of, we need a motion, sorry. Alder Flaherty,
I'll move to appoint Nancy Wild to the Senior Steering Committee.
thank you. And a second?
Second.
Alder Bonnet, thank you. All those in favor of approving Alder Wild to serve on the Senior Advisory Committee, so signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Congratulations, Alder Wild. And can I get a motion to adjourn? Alder Burnett,
Motion to adjourn.
second? Thank you, Alder Keel. All those in favor, we'll see you next month.